So what you're building in this lab, pair programming again, to please sit with your friends, is that you are able to build a real-time chat app by, what does that mean, a real-time chat app? What does it mean?
Real-time update.
Oh, it provides some real-time update on the page, so if I say hello here, it will automatically display on as many browsers as possible. Now, in this case, each browser here is called a client, right? And what we have is each of this is a socket client, because when you load this page, you send a request to the server, but you also open a connection, a WebSocket connection to the server. So right now, Rails 5 provides that WebSocket server for you. It means right now you have 3 clients. When it sends messages, it's sent to all 3. That's why you can do something like this, and all of these guys update immediately. A long time ago, the best way to implement this was just through JavaScript polling. Just like, okay, every second, let's just check if there's anything new. And then there's WebSocket, but not all the browsers support that. So people use a Flash socket. Flash and Java were able to implement some technology that maintain what's just called persistent connection. It doesn't close. But then over time things got better until, but Rails is now behind. So Rails 4, it was behind. So the way to do it is that you can either use a third-party service like Pusher, and you connect by including their JavaScript, and it opens a WebSocket connection with their server. If you implement your own, then Rails can do that too. Require a gem, and it will hook with your rack server. Rails is rack middleware, right? There's one layer that acts like WebSocket. So the advantage is that now you can write code in the WebSocket, the layer that handles the WebSocket connection. You can still access the Rails model, Rails jobs, background, task. So Rails 5 put all of that into Action Cable. So you don't have to require any other gem. That's what our lab we're doing today. And because you learn as you do it, please talk to your teammate, right? To your partner. It's very important to talk and explain to each other. Make sure you both understand. We built the app from scratch. If you're curious, you can compare when you go home. The Rails 4 way is all the way at the bottom here. This is what your TA used, right, last time. So there are some cool things about it, obviously, because it's just how you do it yourself. But now, because we just learned to do it the Rails way, it means a convention. What is a channel, right? What's a cable? Sort of, that's terminology. Okay. So the app, build it, understand it. Basically now you need you support a WebSocket connection, and it's called channel. You can have many channels, but for the chat room you only have one channel, just one chat room. And if you deploy to Heroku, you need Redis, because when you deploy to server, you have multiple servers running and then multiple clients, right? How to make sure that any messages are sent to all of the clients. So it means any interaction now has to go through your Redis server database, which just means there's any message that's to send to the client, go to Redis first. And Redis, as a database, Redis support this thing called PubSub. It means the client can subscribe to the Redis. Let's say you subscribe to messages. So anything that happened to this channel messages, Redis will send notification. On your local machine, you don't need Redis, but you need to change to Puma, which Rails 5 comes by default. In Rails 4 and before, you didn't have that. You have to do it yourself. So with Puma, it allows you to have multiple threads, and That's how it supports WebSocket. Okay, just some general idea, but implementation you learn when you implement it. So stick with the milestone. Milestone 1 is just setting up an app that can just allow you to send a message and you can refresh the browser, similar to what we did on Monday, right? So the screenshot of the most disgusting app, it looks like that. Instead of username, I'm displaying IP address. So if that works for you, just right now you don't know how this is displayed. It's up to you. But right here, you see this is this. I'm displaying IP address, and then test that. Deploy to Heroku. Make sure it works, right? Actually, you don't have to do Heroku yet, but just make sure that you implement that and show Kwon or myself. And action cable, when you do this milestone, discuss, one person can try coding, the other person can read. You can read more stuff. I'll send, but don't spend all the time in other places. You only need to read this really carefully. That's enough. This is the short version. Okay, so we only need one channel, so it's called a message channel. So you will implement that. So use this generator, and when you generate with Rails, just watch what files it create. Okay, if you have any question about the problems with the files, just let us know. Okay, actually this line I'll delete this. Just do that. This is an extra action, but you don't need. Okay, should we start? Cool. Find your partner. Let's do it. And let me know where you are. Milestone 1, milestone 2, 3, 4.